Right. Did you have a lot of contact like with Alexia and Marysol like during the hiatus between season and 3 and 4? To this 10 years that this was like, were you guys really in each other's lives off and on?
No, they drifted apart. After we wrapped season 3, they did wrap. We did drift apart. Life goes on, I guess, and but there were times where I would text, oh, I'm doing an event, you guys want to come, or like reach out, and they reach out to me a couple of times, but nothing consistent really. The only consistent one was Lisa, that stayed in touch and invited me to her every birthday she had, every New Year's, every Halloween party. So Lisa was always the constant one, and I think that's why Lisa came when I was having my meltdown. And because not only she's going through a similar circumstance currently, right, like the pain of a divorce and having to figure out everything by herself, understanding how hard that is, and also because Lisa was the only one that stayed through as a friend throughout the years.
What about, we saw in the episode there was talk of like, oh, we're sitting at the cool girls table, like you and Julia during the 50th birthday party were sitting by yourselves. I know some other people were like floating back and forth. Like, is this group like the Mean Girls? I mean, we saw a movie called Mean Girls with Lindsay Lohan. Like, do you feel that this is like the Mean Girls group?
At that moment, I did feel like I was in the scene of the Mean Girls movie. Yeah, because you're not cool enough to come sit in our table. And Julia and I were the outcasts, the weirdos that weren't allowed to sit in the cool girls, table. Yeah,
So if this is Mean Girls, who's the head of the plastics?
exactly.
I assume you think it's Marysol and Alexia. I assume. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Oh yeah, they literally walk around, the lobby saying, we're the cool girls, and they can't get us, or blah blah blah, just like being very so like juvenile about it all, very mean and very juvenile. And so I bring out the stuff to surprise Julia for her 50th birthday party, bring it from Miami, like a suitcase of decorations and surprises and stuff. I'm so excited because it's 50th and it's a big number and it should be a big celebration. But they didn't fight in their hearts to overcome their own, emotions, to kind of put it aside for a minute and celebrate Julia, And that to me was sad, because then Julia had such a sad, 50th celebration, it was heartbreaking.
What does Lisa say about all of this? I mean, she's known all of you for around the same amount of time. I mean, it seems like you kept in touch with her the most. What does she say about all of this between what happened and the fallout of the Bahamas trip between you and Alexia and Marysol?
Lisa tried intervening and trying to help us come together and talk to them about it, but they just scolded Lisa, and said, no, don't even go there. So they were not nice to Lisa either.
What about Guerdy and Nicole? I mean, they both had their own issues with Marysol and Alexia. I mean, what did they say about all of this?
Well, they see the pattern, right? Um, they see the pattern, how cunning and how they plot things under the table, and then they come on the attack. And and the unfair part of it all is the fact that we did not attack them. So they attacked me beginning of the season with this "you're going out with the married guy" thing. All I was trying to do is to defend my honor, and not to be demoralized because I care what my son thinks about me, and to defend the guy's practice, like reputation. They did the same to Nicole. They stop at nothing when they turn on you. They will demoralize your entire persona, but also your career, and no remorse. And so they have to attack, and you cannot defend yourself, because the minute you defend yourself, now they act like you're attacking them. And then they attack even stronger. So it's a very bully behavior. Alexia has become a bully. She's just all about bullying this season.
Do you think that is based on the show? You know, like last season was all about her. I mean, you know, some say it was her season. Like, do you think that show has anything to do with this?
Yeah, I think she feels like she's losing ground and or relevance. So then this season she doesn't have much to talk about. So then she made, all these things, I mean, all these attacks, thinking, well, maybe hoping that by making us look bad, she's gonna look better. Yeah, I think she's feeling like she went down the pecking order, and then she's now, it's out fair, in war, they say in love and
In
war is
Love and War.
fair, right? So I think that's where she's at right now. She's fighting to maintain her pole position, and she feels Nicole is picking up steam, and she feels like Guerdy's picking up steam, and Julie's picking up steam, and I'm picking up steam. So they're gonna have to bring us down one way or another.
Is that what it is? Like, okay, Nicole is, you know, becoming a fan favorite or whatnot. I'm just saying, you know, like kind of standing, you know, getting footing with the viewers. Like, is that what it is? Is that why they don't like Nicole, you think?
Yeah, I think from the beginning, they never welcomed Nicole in because Nicole was a threat of becoming, a fan favorite. And God forbid, instead of like saying this is a group, effort. When we good, when we look, the way I see it, like when we look good individually, we just make the whole group look better, as a franchise. So for us to strengthen ourselves as a group, because our competition are other cities, right? At the end of the day. But instead of seeing that, they just want to mine from the inside and collapse a certain people within, so they maintain their relevance. I just find it very so, unfair and just disingenuous.
And yeah, I would say the competition is other cities, right? Like if you're all doing well, then it's a strong franchise and it's a franchise that's thriving while not all the other franchises are at the moment.
Exactly. Miami is now, taking lead on the favorite franchise, right? And instead of like saying, okay, let's just do more together as a group, everybody should have their A game individually and then bring us together. No, we have to make people look bad because then they look better. It's just a childish game.
Nicole did an interview recently. I don't know, it was either Entertainment Tonight or Watch What Happens, where she said, you know, Marysol is behind it all when it comes to Alexia. Like she